It's been a couple of months since I purchased the MacBook Air, and I have to say during that period of time, I've really enjoyed my experience with it. Now what may seem odd is that I did purchase a MacBook Pro 16, but I seem to be spending a lot more time with the MacBook Air recently. My first experience with the Air was the one I got for my wife, and I played around with it to do some light video editing just to kind of see what it could do, and it was pretty good. That led me to purchase mine, which really is my wife's because I did turn hers in on a deal to get my MacBook Pro. Overall, the experience with the MacBook Air has been excellent. She's a very light machine, easy to carry around, and the screen is really good. Now I'll say I have not used this outside of the house, and we do know that the brightness of the screen is not going to work very well when you're outside, but for normal indoor editing, if you're in a coffee shop and so on, I think it'll be great. I've had friends call me to ask me, hey, which machine should I get? And don't recommend a Mac because, we know you're all about Mac these days. But I have to tell them, the MacBook Air is the machine you should get. Because compared to a lot of PCs out there, they're bigger, they're bulkier, and they don't have similar battery life to this machine. Not at the same performance level. There's some that may be kind of close, but I think overall, when it comes to performance, there's no PC out there that can touch this machine. Now in saying that no PC can touch this machine, we're talking about similar size machine, similar weight, similar classification, a notebook. We have a lot of thinner lights out there that perform pretty well, but I don't think they're gonna come anywhere close to this machine. Not for the type of battery life that you can get from this unit. The weight on it really struck me as, this is something that we all want in a laptop. I'm surprised that a lot more people are not, jumping on this. Some people are, don't get me wrong, but I think when you talk about people in the PC camp, they usually have a little more resistance to going over because there's this dark, corridor you have to walk down to learn all these Mac stuff, and it really isn't difficult. You just have to have an open mind to learn the operating system and understand how it functions. The screen real estate is sufficient because you can adjust the icons, adjust the resolution so that you can see more information on the screen. When I got the machine, I had no issues connecting it to my 32-inch monitor, and it worked great. So for some edits, when I first started it, I went out and I bought me a external hard drive because this one only has 512 gigabyte of hard drive space. And basically it was a DIY type of situation. I wanted to, get something a bit faster. And I used an NVMe drive, and it was just about the same speed as what you found inside this machine. That's great. But now going from 512 to have an additional 2 terabytes on the outside, that was fantastic. I also picked up a crucial 2 terabyte hard drive to see how that would function. The speed is about 900 or so, not the same as the NVMe drive, but it worked quite well. In the early days of utilizing the machine, I did have a couple of hiccups, and I use the word hiccups because there weren't really anything major, and I thought initially that it was an issue with the machine. It gave me an error that it was out of resources when I was utilizing it, and I said, wow, it was the 8 gigabyte version. Maybe I should opt for the 16. Now what I realized after using it for the last couple of weeks since getting the MacBook Pro, or actually even before that, it hasn't crashed since. After upgrading to the latest operating system, Monterey, I have not had any issues with this machine. Yes, I still edit on it because I do like the platform, and sometimes when I'm sitting downstairs it's a little bit easier to work with, and the experience has been so great. I mentioned in my last video that my wife did make a comment that it's really my machine because I tend to use it a lot more than she does, which, I do. My friends that I tell about this machine, some are kind of on the fence. I'm not sure if they're gonna get one or not, but for those of you out there who are still wondering, should I wait? I think it's a great value right now for you to pick up. If you have an older MacBook or any older computer, Apple does do credit for that machine. It may not be a lot depending on how old it is, but it's still something, and you get to recycle the machine. you get off your hands, you get your new machine, you're good. My first MacBook Pro I kept for 9-10 years. This one I believe will last for a similar period of time. Our old MacBook Air was from 2013, 2021, so we're talking 7-8 years also. That's a long time to have a machine. And most PCs, you know, they're plastic built, they're not gonna last as long. This is an aluminum machine. This thing is gonna last you. I have to say, you know, I never considered one of these for myself. It was more for my wife because she liked the smaller machine. As my eyes are getting bad, I want a bigger screen. But this one actually works very well. Should you jump on and get one of these, or should you wait for the MacBook Air M2 version? We don't know what's really gonna come, but there should be some new things coming out. Plus, there are gonna be discounts on it over the holiday season. In addition, you can save some money by going into the refurbished store. Apple does have a refurbished store on their online site, which you can go in, and typically these machines are selling to 100 up to 250 off. 100 to 150 now. It'll probably be 200 or so a little bit later on when new things come out. Why do I think you should do it now? The price is more than likely going to increase for whatever new machine they bring out. The form factor is going to change based upon design mock-ups that we've seen. The screen should get better. And I think with the new technology from the M2, plus knowing Apple, they'll add a little bit more to it, which will definitely make them price it even more. The performance though, right now, is great on this machine. You can't argue with that. Battery life, as mentioned, is also great. Now that Apple is making their own chips and putting them in their own machine, updating the design, yes, I think we can look for an increase in price. If they don't do that, that'd be a great thing. If they keep this around, this should go down in price. Even if they don't keep it around, again, as I said, refurbished store. If you need one now, go ahead and get one. You can find deals on Best Buy, Amazon, and just about anyone else out there that sells this machine. B&H, some other brick and mortar stores usually have deals on these as well. So do I recommend it? Highly, yes. I keep telling people, get it, get it, get it. Don't even ask any questions, don't even think about it, just do it. This machine works in a lot of cases, and I think it's the best value for a lot of people. This is something you can keep long term, and the way Apple has set the performance on it, it's going to be around for a while. And you can keep using it 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, and it will still have value when it comes time to get a new one, because you can just trade it in and get a new one. All right, I'm going to wrap it up for now. I know I'll just talk a lot about this machine. I wanted to get some more information about it out there because I find that I love it a lot more than I thought I would from the beginning, and I'm using it a lot, so that's me. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Please like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Recently we hit that 100 subscriber mark. Now I'm working towards 1,000. So for all of you who are coming in and looking at the video, drop a subscribe. There'll be more video coming. There are a few more things I'm working on to put out on the channel, so stay tuned for that.